Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Lein in the Library, where Mr. Lein sits down with an expert student on a topic and gets to know the student in the topic a little bit better. Today in the studio, we have none other than Zach Redman, a very interesting young man who is going to talk to us about a way to relieve stress and also be creative. Zach, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
I'm actually doing pretty good.
Good. It's glad to have you here today. How's your day been going so far?
It's been pretty nice.
Awesome, good. We are recording today on October 29th, and so we're starting the Halloween festivities, which is a lot of fun. So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and what you're here to talk to us about today?
I'm here to talk about art, and of course, how you said, how it can relieve stress, how it can help out people, and how it's just fun in general to do.
Mm-hmm. When did you start messing around with art?
I started art whenever I was around 4 years old. My brother's the one who actually taught me how to do it.
Oh, what'd your brother do? What kind of art did he do?
He drew more of the anime style. He drew anime, he drew gore, he drew basically anything.
Mm-hmm.
Besides landscaping. That was the one thing that me and him always had trouble with.
So you didn't touch landscapes, you stuck to Japanese animation characters. Awesome. So were you like using colored pencils, markers, crayons?
I mostly used pencils for like the first few years. But colored pencils are morally my go-to whenever I'm actually filling in the art itself.
Okay, cool. So why don't you talk a bit about art and why art is useful and all the different applications of it for you?
In my different applications for art itself, it can be anything from sculpting, painting, just drawing in general, digital art. It can be anything that you can see. Art is everywhere, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm. And what do you use art for specifically?
I use art for having fun and relieving stress.
Yeah, definitely. So what does stress relief art look like for you? What do you do with that?
I do something called emotional painting. Emotional painting is where you will have a palette, or you would just place the piece of artwork on the floor. You would cover basically the room or the area that you're in plastic. And then you would paint, you would just splatter the paint all over the canvas to see what you can make in art. Or whenever you are morally very angry and you have the canvas on the floor,
mm-hmm.
you would just stomp on the tube itself.
What? So you just put the tube on the floor, on the canvas.
Morally off to the side, more the end, so you don't actually put your foot through the canvas itself.
Oh, so the canvas is standing up.
The canvas is flat on the ground, and the tube, and like the little opening for it, it's little squeezing part. Sits right there on the edge of the canvas, and you basically just stomp on it.
Okay, I was wondering if you could put it up like on a step stool or something and get a heightened approach of that paint going down.
That's what street artists called like splatter art, I believe.
Splatter art. Yeah. And so that kind of artwork, you're not trying to draw anything specific like an anime character. You're just creating shapes, creating color.
Yeah.
All right. And why do you think that's helpful for emotions? Like, how does that relieve emotions?
For emotional art, it helps calm people down. Like whenever I'm super stressed out and I'm super angry about something, I usually do emotional art because it helps me from, in the long run, ruining relationships between friends, maybe loved ones even. Like there was a time where I was absolutely angry about something and no one could really calm me down, and that was whenever I first got introduced to emotional art. So my brother took one of his canvases, took a tube of paint, and he said, "Zach, look," and he stomped on it.
So that was a game-changing moment for you in thinking of how to deal with anger that I can't figure out what to do with otherwise. I'm going to give this canvas.
Basically a violent way of doing stuff. It's non-violent.
Just take it out on a $15 canvas versus a priceless friendship.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really helpful. And so, if you're listening out there and you struggle too with feelings of anger or depression, that maybe art is a way. And that doesn't have to be the way, but it is a way that you can find soothing, find peace, find recovery in the midst of all this. So maybe give us an idea of how can we get started with art? What are some of the basic necessities?
For emotional art, all you need is like a canvas, which you can go buy from like Hobby Lobby or something. Like you said, for like $15. Paint is at like Target, Walmart, Office Depot or something like that. And then the brushes you can just find basically on like Amazon, eBay, or like Walmart, stuff like that.
Can you get those things at like Hobby Lobby too? The brushes and the
Yeah,
paint?
you can.
Okay, so you can do it all in one shot.
Yeah, they're
one
more
stop
of
if you need to.
but they're more of for like wall painting, which those are like the ideal ones if you ever want to actually go into emotional art.
Okay. So what if we have people out there, they're like, okay, emotional art, that sounds cool, but I want to actually draw things that people can look at and say, oh, that's a face, that is a house, that's a mountain. Like, how can people get started with that kind of art?
Personally, as people would say, you would take kind of like an art class, yet I've never been in one in my entire life. So it's more of just different ways of how you would actually do it. I got taught by my brother and my own father and my mom for landscaping in my art. But everyone has their different ways. But the simplest way for someone to actually draw somebody, if we're actually going to draw like a human, I would just start off with a simple circle to start off to round out the head. And then you would draw a simple line for the jawline. What I do is I actually create lines into the face so I can create structure into it, so I know where to put like the nose, the eyes, the mouth, and everything, and then I start drawing the body.
Did your brother teach you all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
He took an advanced art,
Okay.
like advanced painting and advanced art. So
Okay. What if I don't have a brother? Where can I learn this stuff?
if your viewers right now, if some of them are probably going to school anyway, so if you're in college, I would just suggest taking more of like an art class inside there, because they're really good at helping you with sculpting, painting, drawing, stuff like that. But if you're in high school right now, I'd morely start off with a simple art class, then go into more of the advanced stuff if you ever actually want to.
Okay. Well, why don't we wrap a bow on this conversation and just kind of finish up by just what's the biggest thing that art has done for you? Like, what's the main thing that we want to take away about the importance of art?
Art is an amazing thing, and especially in my life, it's always been a great thing. If I never actually did art, I probably wouldn't be the person that I am today right now. And I think people should really try art, whether it be anything, just taking garbage off the ground and sculpting something out of it, or if you're in welding class, welding metal together to create like a little figure or something like that.
Taking garbage. You can make art with garbage?
Yeah, there's plenty of YouTubers that would take like old tires that are morally rotted, and they'll create like life-size figure of stuff.
Wow. So you mentioned YouTube. Is YouTube a good resource for people wanting to get into art?
YouTube is definitely a good resource, because that's also one of the other ways that I actually learned most of my art styles.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've heard of many people mastering new trades and new skills just by watching other people do it on YouTube, so that can be very helpful. Well, Zach, I just want to thank you for your time coming on here, and hopefully the listeners now have some ideas of ways that they can use art both therapeutically, but also if they want to draw things or paint things that are just beautiful and recognizable. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming on.